What's up, YouTube world? It's the one and only
Scenario.
and I'm here to drop some fire content, ranging from food, music, story time, products, business, giveaways, overall growth. I'm sharing my journey, so tap in. Be sure to subscribe, comment, share, and like. Don't be shy. Let's take a ride. What's up, YouTube world? You're now tapped in with Scenario the Illustrator. And the topic I'll be touching on today is while being confident install fear in certain people, men or women. When you confident and when you put together mentally, spiritually, and physically, and you show up in places and you put together and you got a glow about yourself, you love yourself, you got that vibe, you know, and you know you're comfortable in your skin, you recognize game for what it is, and you mentally up to par, man, you a threat. You a threat. The three threats: mentally, spiritually, and physically. You a threat. You a threat is because you understand, you recognize game for what it is, and you ain't afraid to stand on your own. You ain't afraid. You don't need a crowd. You don't need a group of people to help you understand what's the next decision, what's the next move, because you understand what the next decision and what the next move is. And when you show up in certain places, you know, and the energy is vibrating a little bit too low and yours is vibrating high because you're confident, you put fear in certain type of people. You put fear in certain type of people. You put people in a situation where they start to second guess themselves. They don't understand why you are the way you are and where you come from. They don't get what I'm saying. They got to walk a mile in your shoes to figure that part out. You done overcame a lot. You done survived a lot. You done been through a lot. So when you survive these obstacles that's being thrown at you, and you survive it, and you show up and show out, you know, that's not because you're trying to outdo and outshow somebody that you better than. Nah. The glow up is real. The glow up is real. You're confident enough in yourself because you didn't survive so much. You done been through so much. You're confident within yourself. So the ones that ain't been through half the shit you been through, how they looking at you like you doing too much. You extra'd out. Calm down. Don't do this. Don't do that. So how you supposed to look? How you supposed to look at it in a real way? You gotta recognize game for what it is. Those are the type of people you don't need to be around. Those are the type of people you don't need to interact with. Those are the type of people you don't need to chop it up with. Those are the type of people you need to stay away from. You need to keep them type of people away from you. Because the insecurities is gonna ooze out at some point. An insecure person they're gonna react in ways, they're gonna hate on you. They're gonna hide their girls. They're gonna hide their man. They're gonna like, oh no. I can't have you around. You the type of person you are. You gonna rearrange my whole program. You the type to undo without work so hard to try to keep me in control. You the type to come in, interfere, and mess up everything. Not on purpose though. Not on purpose. It's gonna naturally happen. That's what's gonna happen. It's gonna naturally happen. It's gonna everything what you fear is what you fear inside, what you naturally gonna project, and you gonna manifest that into reality. That's how that goes. You gonna manifest that type of fear into reality. You supposed to be confident with yourself. You should never free your mind up and have free space in your head to allow those type of thoughts to even festate. Man, you should have enough confidence to not even allow them thoughts to even exist. If you wake up every day and you love yourself and you take care of yourself, you take care of your vessel, your body, your temple, it's gonna show naturally. It's gonna show naturally. That's what's gonna happen. It's gonna show naturally, and people that comes in contact with you, they'll feel it. They'll feel the glow. They'll feel that aura. They'll feel and understand everything where you coming from. Some people is gonna love it, and some people's gonna hate it. That's just what comes with the territory when you have confidence within yourself. People out here in this world, there's a lot of people out here in the world that get real fearful. They get real fearful about certain things because insecurity, being an insecure person, you can spot an insecure person a mile away. You can spot an insecure person. You can, insecure people. They say, they do little things. They say little things, little slick type of stuff. And you got to be wise enough to understand it. When you hear, you got to catch it. When you hear, you got to catch it. When you hear, you got to catch it. And once you catch it, if you're strong enough, you get from around those type of people. You don't even have to make it loud in the exit plan. Your exit plan don't even have to be loud. Just stop showing up. Disappear. Change your number. Block them. Don't interact. Don't deal with them no more. Don't talk to them. Don't show up where they go. 9 times out of 10, wherever those type of people go, why would you even want to go there? It's a million places that you can show up at. We live in a big, huge world. Start traveling. Start going to different cities. Start going to different states. Start moving around. If you're in an environment where these type of activities is going on, and these type of people can't stomach your presence, don't take it personal. Maybe it's time for you to get on. Maybe it's time for you to start traveling and moving around. Get you some motion. Once you start getting you some motion, you can start traveling, you can start doing things different. And actually what's gonna happen, this type of energy is gonna flake, and it's going you're gonna dust it off. When you got some motion, you can do whatever you want. Get you some motion, start traveling to different countries. Take this energy in different places where people will appreciate it. Link up with people that got the same type of vibe as you. Get involved with people that got the same type of ideology as you, same type of swag, same type of mentality, same type of, because with those type of people, we ain't gotta compete. We ain't gotta compete not one bit. For what? What we need to compete for? We ain't gotta compete. We ain't gotta step on each other's toes. We ain't gotta argue. We ain't even gotta, I ain't gotta chase your girl. You ain't gotta chase mine. We ain't gotta even do all of that. That's doing too much. You should be confident enough in yourself to be able to be around people that has like-minded energy. So when you around those type of people, our minds ain't even gotta wonder like that. Our minds ain't even gotta get to the point where you trying to take something off my plate, or I'm trying to take something off yours. When you around people like that, it's time for you when you glow up, when you level up, it's time to get on. It's time to keep it pushing. It's time to start leveling up and do things different now. It's time to start thinking outside that box. When you're thinking outside that box, great things start happening. You just gotta believe in yourself. You gotta believe in what's going on up here. You gotta believe in yourself. That's what you gotta do. You gotta believe in yourself. You gotta recognize game for what it is when you run in contact with it. You ain't gotta take it personal. A lot of things that's happening and what's going on, you ain't gotta take nothing personal. Nah, you just gotta relocate. You gotta switch up. You gotta switch your routine up. You gotta switch your routine up. That's what you gotta do. You gotta move around. It ain't hard. Some people, we growing up, I realized that I was lingering, I was hovering, I was being around these types of people a little bit too long, but it wasn't processing to me in my mind, like, hold on, it's time for me to get on. It's time for me to get on. And what was happening is, I had issues and I had problems with individuals, and the whole time I was having issues and problems, I lingered too long. I lingered too long, and I didn't realize that the season with these types of people came to an end. The season with these types of people came to an end. Our season came to an end, but I wasn't recognizing. It wasn't processing. It wasn't clicking in my head. It wasn't clicking, and I ran into a lot of issues and the problems with these types of people because I wasn't getting on. I wasn't getting on. As I got older, and I started to realize a lot of these people, I'm gonna keep it real, they start going to jail, catching football numbers. A lot of them die. A lot of them die. A lot of them passed. A lot of them they down bad right now. They doing bad, down bad. When I say down bad, you don't even hear from these types of people no more. Where are they? Gone. Out of sight, out of mind. Faded into the background. Faded away. That's what you gotta realize, is that, everything has a season. Just like the weather. Everything has a season. Everything. Trust me on that one. Everything has a season. Recognize it for what it is and keep pushing and move on. Don't linger. So when you confident, you recognize game for what it is, and you give off that alpha male vibe. You give off that alpha vibe. You give off that recognition. People can smell it on you when you pop up. People can they'll feel where you're coming from. They'll feel that vibe, that aura. And from a man's perspective, women can pick up on it. They can smell it. They can smell it. They can feel it. They can see the confidence. When you confident, you secure within your own skin. When you confident, you understand how the game goes. When you confident, you're not gonna allow yourself to fall victim out here in these streets. You ain't gonna get hit with the okie doke. You're not gonna run into issues and dilemmas where it's gonna slow you down. Your confidence is within the decisions you make. Your confidence is within how you carry yourself. Your confidence is within your finances. They can see it within your finances. You're confident enough to know how to take this money and invest it into a business idea. I'm confident enough. You're confident enough, you do your research, you do your homework. When you're confident, when you're confident, you take care of what you need to take care of, and people see how you know how to be confident enough to flip whatever you need to flip to gain extra or more, because you're confident. You're confident. You understand the moves and the decisions that you're making to get you to the next level, because you're confident. When you got confident, you're confident enough when you're good at doing research. You gain your confidence from doing your research, doing your homework on anything that you want to pursue and get involved in out here. You're confident. And you're confident enough to not slow down, allow anybody to slow you down. And a lot of weak-minded people, what happens is that those type of people, when you get around them and they start feeling some type of way because they're not confident. They're not willing to put the work in on themselves to gain whatever they want to do in life. They don't even know what they want to do. They don't even have no goals. When you have goals and when you have things that you want to pursue and you're doing your research, you're confident enough it's going to work. I'm confident enough to do this YouTube. I'm confident enough in dropping these videos and giving this game. I'm coming from a place of experience. It's not me just making this stuff up. This is information that I ran into and I collected throughout my life, throughout my battles and my issues. This is what I did. This is what I'm confident enough to do what I want to do and pursue what I want to pursue, because this is what I want to do. This is my experience. This is what I've seen. I'm confident within my conversation. I'm confident enough to know that whatever I put my mind to, I'ma succeed. I'm confident. When you and sometimes confidence requires you to be lonely. Confidence requires you to be lonely by yourself sometimes, and that's cool. You just haven't found your tribe yet. Sometimes you gotta be confident enough to be by yourself. You gotta be confident enough to be by yourself in the beginning stages. This is how it goes when you out here in the world and you doing what you want to do for once in your life for yourself. But you confident enough to be by yourself to realize that, hey, you just haven't found your tribe yet. Your tribe ain't found you. Your tribe ain't found you yet. Your tribe, the people with the like mind, they ain't found you. 9 times out of 10 what's happening, you around a whole bunch of people that ain't your homeboy, that ain't your they just vibrating at a low frequency. Period. It is what it is. But you gotta recognize game for what it is. You gotta know when it's time to leave. You gotta know when it's time to get on. You gotta what's up with it? You gotta know what to do to take care of your business and move on from that. Don't take it personal if you ain't mixing with a certain type of people. Don't take it personal. Don't take it personal. This is the first beginning stages of you doing what you want to do. This is the first beginning stages of elevation. It's when you're confident. You got to be confident enough to sit in your own stuff. You got to be confident enough to ride solo until you run into what God wants you to run into out here. You know, it's nothing wrong with being by yourself in the beginning stages. That's what a lot of people need to understand. In the earlier stages of your evolution and you evolve, you know, you got to be confident enough to be like, it's going to change. You just got to stick through, and eventually, you know, you'll bump into the ones that you're supposed to bump into. Eventually, at some point, you got to vibrate your energy high enough though, so they can hear it, so they can feel it. They'll feel it. They don't have to feel it close to you physically. They'll feel it. You got to understand, it's way more easier now. The internet exists now. People will find you way more faster, you know, versus the times when I was growing up, the internet didn't exist. So any tribe that I had to run into, that I got a chance to run into, to keep it all the way buck, is when you had to get on your bike, you had to get in the car, you have to, you know, it's in like within a block radius. You know, you didn't have too much options. You didn't have too much options out here. There wasn't that many options out here before the internet. You know, you had to settle for, you know, the environment that you had to settle for. You had to settle for the environment. You had to be around what was available to you. You know, now the internet exists now. The internet exists now, and so, you know, you're confident enough, you want to tell your story and document your journey. Get on the internet and do some YouTube and get out here and drop the videos and give people a sense of identity of who you are, so they can tap in. That's how it starts. You got to put yourself out there. You know, then eventually you'll find your tribe. Eventually, you know, you just got to start. You got to get going. That's what I'm doing. I'm like, hold up, you know. Yeah, I'm around people, but you know, some you know, at some point, you know, certain things starts to get played out. I'm keeping it real. Certain situations, it starts to, you know, it starts to play itself out. People start to fizzle their way out, and you got to be confident enough to walk away from these types of people. You know, your time has come to an end. You know. But this is your boy, Scenario the Illustrator. Talk to me. I ain't afraid to talk back. Drop in the comments below topics that we can discuss and keep this motion going. I ain't afraid to talk. You get what I'm saying? Just tap in. We can have a real conversation. I like real conversation. I don't like them random leading with no substance. I'm a person of substance. You know, I feel like at the age where I'm at, that's the only thing that I really want to be around and involve myself is dealing with people of substance. Dealing with individuals of substance. Not that, I'm too grown for that. I ain't got time for it, you know? But, you know, in the meantime, keep your head on a swivel, stay 10 toes down, stay blessed. Peace.